Hello everyone. You're welcome to this very class. I promised some of you earlier today that I was going to post a video on C++ functions and classes. But this very video I'll be covering functions. Okay. I'm going to be using this particular site, W3 Schools. Some of you can go through their site. They are very good. But I'll use this to explain a lot of things. Okay. So let's start. C++ functions. A function is a block of code which only runs when it is called. That's one of the first statements we must remember. And that is what a function is, a block of code which only runs when it is called. Okay. Let me note that. Now you can pass data known as parameters into a function. That's another word you should take note of, parameters. So what you pass into a function, the data you pass into a function is called parameters. Okay, the functions are used to perform certain actions and they are important for reusing code. Okay, define the code and use it many times. So what makes function unique is that you can use it as many times as possible. You can always okay, so the next thing we look at here is creating a function, how to create a function. Now C++ provides some predefined functions such as main. Okay. Now if you have been following my classes on C++, C++ has already a predefined function which we call main. Okay. Sometimes we write it as int main. Okay, which is used to execute code. But you can also create your own function to perform certain actions. Okay. So to create, which we call declare, that's to declare a function specify the name of the function followed by parentheses. This is the syntax here. This is the syntax here. Okay, you have void, my function, then the brackets close open. I'm going to explain all of that. Then you have your curly bracket, and inside the curly bracket is where you have the code to be executed, the code you want to be executed. So I'm going to explain each of them. So let's see the example explained. So you see my function is the name of the function. Okay, so you can choose to give it any name. You can say X, you can say my car, you can choose any name, but the most important thing is that after the name there should be a parenthesis, open and close brackets. Okay, now you will also notice that there is a void. Okay, the void means that the function does not have a return value. So whenever you see void in a function, that means you don't need to, there will be no return value. Okay, and you are going to learn more, about that later. Then thirdly, you will notice again that inside the function, the body, add code that defines what the function should do. Okay, and that is where, this is it here, where the code is going to be executed. So that is the syntax, okay, of that, and we are going to see more examples of that. Now the next is to call a function. Now remember, what we discussed before was how to declare a function. Now we want to see how to call a function. Okay, now look at this. It says declared functions are not executed immediately. They are saved for later use and will be executed later when they are called. Okay, that's important for you to know. So we keep them, and whenever we need them, we call them. Okay, so a function written, to call a function, write the function's name followed by parentheses and a semicolon. So that is how to call a function. You write the function's name followed by two parentheses and a semicolon. Okay, So look at the example below. It says, in the following example, my function this is used to print a test, the action when it is called. Okay, so let's see an example. Let's see an example. So please, the example is this here, okay? This block. So let's try to understand it. Permit me. Let me do that again. Good. So let's see. Now I want you to notice something. So we have void, my function with close open, where that's declaration. Then you see you have cout. That's the output. I just got executed, okay? Then with a colon. So that's what you have inside that parenthesis, inside that curly bracket is your function. Now underneath, that means here now, you'll notice that we have int main, okay, which we know. Then inside it, we have my function. That's now you are calling the function. Remember, my function has been defined earlier. It has been declared. And now the next one is we are calling the function. And what is going to be the output? So I'm going to click on the tab. Let's see what this is going to give us. So let's try it and see the outcome. Okay, I'm having a bit of network issues. Yes, good. So you see, it just showed I just got executed. Okay, so that is it. Let me explain for those that may not know. The include IOStream here is, IOStream means input output stream. Using name std, we always use that in every of our function. Then look at this void my function. This is the declaration of our function, to declare. So you have void, then my function. Then after you have declared that, it means that anytime my function is being called, this cout will be printed out, which is I just got executed. Now underneath you have int main, okay, then my function. You see, that's how you call a function. You write the function my function, open close parenthesis, then a colon, a semicolon, and it is that. Now you can see what the answer gave us here. I just got executed. So now you now see how to call a function. Okay, so let's proceed. Let's move to the next thing. So here you can see that a function can be called multiple times, just like this example we have here. So you have this void, this is the declaration of the function, void my function, cout, I just got executed. Okay, then the next now becomes, we can call the function as many times as possible. You see this, you see this, you see this, my function 3 times. Now let's see what this is going to be. You see that? You see that? So you have I got executed, I got executed, I got executed 3 times. Why? Because the function is called 3 times. Okay, that's important for you to note. So let's go back and continue. So here we have function declaration and definition, which is what we've seen, but let's just go through this. It says a C++ function consists of 2 parts. We've done that. The first is declaration, the return type, the name of the function, and parameters, if any. Okay, I will be showing you examples on that later. Then we have the definition, the body of the function code to be executed. Okay, so you declare the function and the definition, and this is exactly the interpretation here. Okay, you have the declaration, then the definition is the body of the function, and that is what we have seen so far. Now I want you to take note. It says note, if a user defined function such as my function is declared after main function, an error will occur. So you don't declare a function under the main function. No, you have to declare it separately, just like this example you see here. You have to declare it separately this way. Okay, no. That's an error. This example is to tell you that, look at this here. You can see your int main here, and you now declare the function here. This will not work. This is an error. You can see it's going to give us error. Okay, so please don't do that. Now it now says, however, it is possible to separate the declaration and the definition of the function for code optimization. Okay, so let's go next. It says you will often see C++ programs that have function declaration above main and function definition below main. This will make the code better organized and easier to read. Okay, so let's see an example here. So here we have the function declaration, which is void my function. That's cool. Then you can see that we called the function in int main. Okay, then after that we define the function. Okay, this is still quite okay. Let us try this. This is what we got. We say it's giving us an answer. So this is another way you can write it. You can declare function. You can declare your function first. Then after that, you can call the function before you define the function. And the definition, let me bring it up so that you see. So you see, we have declaration, we have calling, and we have definition, okay? And the arrangement matters. What matters is that you must start with the declaration. That's what matters. You must start with the declaration. Then these two can interchange position. It is either the definition comes before the main or the main comes before the definition. I hope you understand that. Okay, so let's move to the next thing. Here we have C++ parameters. Remember, we say sometimes a function can take parameters. So let's start with these parameters and arguments. Now it says information can be passed to functions as a parameter. Parameters act as variables inside the function. Parameters act as variables inside the function. Take note of that statement. Parameters are specified after the function name inside the parentheses. You see that? You can add as many parameters as you want just to separate them with a comma. So we are going to see, and this is the syntax here. So you have the void, of course, as usual. Then we have the function name. Then inside it, you can see a parenthesis, and you can pass as many parameters as possible. In this case here, in this example here, we have parameter 1, parameter 2, parameter 3. Okay, so instead of saying just my function in a bracket, you can put parameter inside the bracket, and I'm going to show you a lot of examples. Now, the following example has a function that takes a string called fname as parameter. When the function is called, we pass along a first name, which is used inside the function to print the full name. We are going to explain this now. Okay, so look at this. Just look at this. I have my declaration. First of all, okay, I can see declaration and definition here. Okay, we have void my function. Then inside it, a parameter is passed. You can see. And the parameter, if you notice, we wrote the data type to tell you that this fname is a string. So string fname. Then we have our curly brackets, cout fname, and this revness. I don't know how to pronounce that. Okay, so but that is declaration and definition. So now we now come to this to call the function. We have int main, then we have my function liam. So you can see that we can now let me say this. The string here and the fname, this string fname is the parameter. The string is the data type and the fname is the parameter. Now, but in this main here, this int main, My function Liam, that Liam there is called an argument. My function Jenny is an argument. My function Anja is an argument. So let's see what we are going to get. Remember, what are you going to get? You are going to get whatever the definition. And what is the definition? It says see out F name. In the first case, your F name will be Liam. In the second case, your F name will be Jenny. In the third case, your F name will be Anja. But remember, this will be added because according to the definition, refness will be added. So let's see. Let's try to run this and see. Okay, you see that? We got Liam refness, we got Jenny refness, and we got Anja refness just by doing that. Okay, so this is important to note. This is something that we can do. Now let's move on. So look at this statement here. It says that when a parameter is passed to the function, it is called an argument. You see that? So from the example above, F name is the parameter. I've said that. While Liam, Jenny, and Anja are what? Are arguments. Kindly note that. Very important. So let's move on. Okay. So here we have C++ default parameters. Now, there is what we call default parameters. Okay. So let's see. Now, it says you can also use default parameter value by using the equal sign. So how do you get a default parameter? We must use the equal sign. If we call the function without an argument, it uses the default value. Okay, look at this example. Look at this example. Okay, here we have declared here, which is void my function. Then look at this string, which is the data type, of course. Then country equal to Norway. Once you see this as a parameter, country equal to Norway, it means that Norway, in that case, is a default parameter. Norway is a default parameter. Okay, so you can see the definition here. They say see out country. So country, if no argument is passed, country will be represented with Norway. Okay, then of course this means a new line should be given. Okay, so let's see the calling of the function. So we have my function Sweden, my function India, then we have just my function, then my function USA. So my function Sweden will just give us Sweden. My function India will just give us India because that's what we are to output, just the country. And the default country is Norway, based on what we see here. But the default will only come out when there is nothing passed. Okay, so let's quickly see. Let's run this together, even though it's written there. You see, my function Sweden gives us Sweden. My function India gives us India. My function, which has no argument in it, gave us Norway. You see, Norway, the default parameter. Then my function USA gives us USA. Okay, so this is important for you to know how to work with the difference between parameter and argument. So default parameter, I mean. So here it says a parameter with a default value is often known as an optional parameter. For the example above, country is the optional parameter and Norway is the default value. Okay, I think I understand it and I hope you understand it too. Okay, so let's move to the next thing here. So we have C++ multiple parameters. In a case where we have multiple parameters, we see multiple parameters inside the function. You can add as many parameters as you want, just like we've seen. You see here, void my function. Now note this string name. One parameter is a string, which is f name. The other parameter is an integer, which is age. Okay, so this is the calling out of the definition, which is C out f name, whatever the name is. Then ref sys should be added. based on what we have here. Age also should be added. Age is also another parameter. Then years old should be added, Whenever you see this, it means add anything that comes after it. Okay, this double less than sign, that's less than. Anything you see after less than will be part of whatever you're outputting. Okay, so look at now this, which is calling the function. We have int main, then my function liam tree. Remember, liam is a string, is the first parameter, 3 is the second one, which is integer, which is the age. Okay, the other one is Jenny, f name Jenny, 14, and so on and so forth. So let's run this and see what we'll get. You can see that? So it follows exactly the definition. It follows exactly the definition. You have cout, f name. So the first one, f name is Leanne. Then refness will be there because it says it should be added. Then age 3. Then years old will also be added. Years old, because of this. Wow, this is beautiful. Okay, so let's see something else. Now the return value. The return value. Okay. Now let's read this. It says the void keyword used in the previous example indicates that the function should not return a value. That's why we use the void keyword. Now, if you want the function to return a value, you can use a data type such as int, string, etc. instead of void, and use the return keyword inside the function. This is very important for us to note. So in place of void, we can put either int or string, then use the return keyword. Now look at this very example. This is both declaration and definition. So you see, we are starting with int instead of void. So when you see int string, you know you are going to return a value. Then you see my function, a parameter is passed, which is int x. Then this is the definition. You see the word return here. So it's going to return a value. And what is it returning? It's returning 5 plus x, whatever x is. 5 plus x, whatever x is. Now, quickly look at this, the calling of the function. Int main cout my function 3, you see? So in this case now x is 3. So what will the value return? The output will be 8. That means because it is 5 plus 3. Let's try that quickly, you see? So it's going to give us 8 here. That is important for you to know. So the return value is used when it is not void. Okay, now look at this. It says this example returns the sum of the function with 2 parameters. So let's see the function here. Now we have int my function, int y, int x, int y. That means 2 parameters. But you can see that there is a return. And what are we returning? X plus y. So look, we call the function my function, but look at this value, which is 5 and 3, which represents x. 5 and 3, which represents x and y. So what will it return? It's going to return 5 plus 3, which is x plus y. That is beautiful. Okay, now look at this other example. This one here, we have the same thing here, int x, and the return value is x plus y. So now for the calling, we have, but look at this, int z is equal to my function 5, 3. This one, you are assigning a variable to it. That's beautiful. So cout z, it still gives you the same thing. So what that means is that you can call my function just by mentioning my function, or you can assign a variable to my function. It will still give you the same answer. Okay, so the next is C++ function pass by reference. Okay, I will explain that. In the examples from the previous page, we used normal variables when we passed parameters to a function. You can also pass a reference to a function. This can be useful when you need to change the value of the arguments. Okay, Now remember, when there is need, earlier today I taught some of you how to reference, okay, and you reference by putting ampersand and the ampersand sign. And the reason for reference is in case you need to change a value in the memory, you can easily do that. Now look at this example here. We have void, okay? Then we have swap norms as the function, name of the function, int ampersand x and int ampersand y, okay? That represent referencing. Then we have int x, z equal to x equal to y equal to z. Now this code that we've just written now will exchange x, the value of x to the value of y, and that's how it's done. So that's what that means. You introduce a z, so that's why we say z equal to x, x equal to y equal to z. I may not be able to explain that, but know that that's what that means. So here we have int main, then we have int first norm equal to 10, then int second norm equal to 20. Okay, then here we have cout before swap, then new line, then we have cout first norm, second norm, and all that. That's before swap. I think I would have to stop this video here. I'm feeling tired. Continue next class.